Hello, today we will talk about the government intervention on the market of marijuana in Colorado.
On November 6th of 2012, the state of Colorado had its people vote whether or not to pass Amendment Number 64. This amendment regarded to the regulation of the use of marijuana by people 21 years of age and older. Marijuana was to be treated like alcohol and tobacco, and there would be regulation of the retail sales of the drug. The vote resulted in favor of the amendment, with 55.32% voting for and 44.68% voting against.
This is how the purchase of weed looked like before the legalization. In this example, we see the black market for marijuana. There is a customer who buys an ounce of weed from an illegal dealer for $270. This weed has had no type of taxes imposed on and has all the money paid for it go to the dealer/producer.
The legalization of marijuana finally took effect on January 1st, 2014, with the commercial sales starting up. These legal commercial sales, however, do carry a great tax rate with the purchases. The tax on medical marijuana is built up with a base 15% excise tax, which is covered during the production. This tax is already involved in the original price of the weed products and is not seen with the other taxes by consumers. In addition, 2.9% state sales tax is also paid. When buying marijuana for recreational purposes, you pay both of the tax rates that you pay for medically used marijuana, plus a state retail marijuana tax of 10%, and a local retail marijuana tax depending on the area you're at. For example, in Denver, you would have to pay a 3.5% local retail marijuana tax. While medical marijuana is not subsidized by the government to be produced and is not covered by the healthcare plans in the US to help patients get a hold of it, it is still relatively much less costly than recreational marijuana, since it has a total of 17.9% tax rate, while the retail weed has a tax rate of around 30%. Now, let's look at how the legal purchase of marijuana looks like in Colorado. In this second example, we can see a customer who goes to a legal commercial sales marijuana store in Denver. The customer has a prescription in hand for the use of marijuana as medicine. He picks out an ounce of weed, which is the maximum legal amount allowed per adult at once, and sees a price of $230. This price has already the 15% excise tax included in it. At the cashier, the customer shows his prescription and is told that the total cost of his purchase after the state sale tax is $237. Now, we see a customer who is purchasing the same amount of marijuana at the same store in Denver. The price that he sees when he picks out his 1 ounce of weed is also $230. But this customer is looking to use this marijuana recreationally, so at the cashier, the price increases by the state sales tax, the state retail marijuana tax, and the local retail marijuana tax of Denver. This is a total of 16.4% tax rates added, resulting in the final price of the 1 ounce of weed being $268. $2 less than what the ounce would have cost in the black market. This is calculated by the government to make sure that there is a price ceiling for the marijuana being sold legally, so that the price doesn't pass that of the black markets, to try and keep the consumers buying the drug legally and reduce the illegal market for pot.
The taxes are collected by the government of Colorado. Legalizing marijuana has brought thousands of new jobs to Colorado, and in the last year, an extra $135 million were earned by the state from pot taxes. While it sounds like a big amount, it only makes up 1.3% of the total tax revenue collected by the state. This increase in revenue may not be capable of allowing gigantic changes in the state, but they are still used to make social upgrades, especially in rural areas. With the introduction of the amendment, it was promised that the tax revenues would be used on helping the conditions of schools outside the cities and improving the educational system in the state. As promised, more than $40 million were used in adding upgrades of schools, and the rest were used on other social aspects and departments such as departments of agriculture, public safety, public health, and human services. The legalization of marijuana increased a positive regulation in the use of the drug, and while it approved of the use of it, still enforced limits to the use. The government of Colorado found ways to use the consumption of pot in a positive way by using the high tax rates to improve the state, and it's looking to help more and more in the social aspects of the state by upgrading rural areas using the revenue they make.